Dash. Before we get started, we want to give all the praise, honor, and glory.
Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash.
A double honors to the apostles and elders. Shalom. All right, out here to bring it out, man. Hey, welcome to the divided states of America, man. Hey, this shit is popping, man. This whole CK situation. All right, Merck got Merck. All right, now behind it all, I was looking up some information before we came to camp. Matter of fact, before I bring that out, go to Job 21 and 27. All right, because we understand that the CK situation is like a scapegoat for what was it called? The term it was called freedom of speech, but it was another way they worded it. I got it. No, it's another term. It'll come to me. But they're using this, all right, to suppress, your so-called freedom of speech. Give me that real quick.
This is Job chapter 21, verse 27.
Yep.
Behold, I know your thoughts and devices which you wrongfully imagine against me.
Yeah, so we know the thoughts and the devices of the wicked, man. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. So we understand the bigger picture, what happened to the Edomite CK, all right, and what the real purpose is behind, right? Now, can you read that for me out? And then I'll get the other part that I made in a minute.
So for 404.com, it reads, DOJ deletes studies showing domestic terrorists are most often right-wing.
Yeah, so it said that the Department of Justice deletes a study that pretty much confirms that most of the terrorism that's going on in this country comes from right-wing extremists, which further validates the point about the so-called white man being America's most domestic threat, top domestic threat. So again, Esau can't run away from who he truly is. All right? Any more, Rob?
So following CK's assassination and the Trump administration's promise to go after the radical left,
Yep.
a study showing most domestic terrorism is far right has disappeared.
Yep. Now, who's the woman that speaks for Trump? What's her name? Because she vowed, she said anything that they tie to hate speech, all right, they're coming after everybody. She announced it today, Lord willing. I get into it later in the lesson. Pam Bondi, man. All right, so she pretty much put it out there, man. So what they deem as hate speech towards anybody, they said that they're going to send law enforcement after them. So we're in that time of what a great persecution, man. All right, Amos with 5 and 15, right? Get that real quick, 5 and 10.
May I get some real quick for you?
Yeah, you got it.
John chapter 10 and verse 10, it reads, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy.
That's right.
I am come that they may have life, that they might have it more abundantly. Focusing on the first part of that verse, the nature of Esau, him being that true T in the earth, that domestic T, his influence has been he tried to hide it, he tried to make it covert, but his nature is being shown in these days.
Yeah, these Edomites are looking terrible right now, man. They're all over the place, confusion and angry. Hey, because I did the lesson last night. A lot of these pro-American right-wing Edomites, they're mad as hell because their own government sold them out to the small hats, man, to the JOO. Right? Hey, America's just a corporation under the JOO. Everybody knows that, man.
Right.
It's no longer a secret now, man. So they're ready to go to war for that. Like I said, it was never about America being in the forefront. It was always about serving the intention of the JOO, man.
Right. America is the whore, Israel is the pimp.
That's it.
I had some going back to the CK thing.
Yep.
Like you said, that was an event that they needed to help, bring in what they wanted as far as the attack on free speech.
That's
so
it.
This was a term that somebody had used on social media dealing with that whole situation. So I believe how you say it is the Reichstag fire. And when you look that up, it says the Reichstag fire was a major event in Germany on February 27, 1933, when the Reichstag building, the German parliament in Berlin, was set on fire. A young Dutch communist named Marius von der Loo was found at the scene and arrested. The Nazis, led by Adolf Hitler, quickly blamed the communists in general for the fire. Using the fire as an excuse, Hitler convinced President Hindenburg to issue the Reichstag fire decree, which suspended many civil liberties like freedom of speech, press, and assembly. This allowed the Nazis to arrest political opponents, especially communists and socialists, that helped Hitler consolidate power. In simple terms, the Reichstag flag flyer was likely started by one man, though some think the Nazis may have staged it, but it gave Hitler the perfect excuse to crush his opponents and turn Germany into a dictatorship. And essentially, that's what's being done here in America. With the guy, Kirk, that got his TV turned off, man. They're using that as a catalyst to attack free speech. Now, as we've been making the hypocritical parallels of the right and the left, all right, the left during the time of Biden was going for cancel culture. Well, we're seeing cancel culture now being used on the right side in the form of the doxing, all right, coming after people that's speaking on social media against this dude's death and all that. So that zero and in the profits is coming, man.
You got a little bit more in there, right?
Continue on. The Department of Justice has removed a study showing that right supremacist and far-right violence continues to outpace all other types of terrorism and domestic violent extremism in the United States.
So like I said, he can't get away from that, man. This is why they're trying to blame so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, Hispanics as the problem of America, man. But in the midst of it all, these devils, so-called white supremacy is the main threat out here, man. They're the ones that's behind the mass shootings, man. All right, the raping of kids and children. All right, you just had the guy out here in North Carolina that was trying to unalive like 20 preschoolers. I forgot his name. The white dude, man. So this is what he's known for. Hey, he's the sword, man. He's the wicked. Keep going.
I got a little bit out of the actual article here.
There you go.
It says militant, nationalistic, white supremacist violent extremism has increased in the United States. In fact, the number of far-right attacks continues to outpace all other types of terrorism and domestic violent extremism.
Oh.
It says since 1990, far-right extremists have committed far more ideologically motivated homicides than far-left or radical Islamist extremists, including 227 events that took more than 520 lives. In the same period, far-left extremists committed 42 ideologically motivated attacks that took 78 lives. A recent threat assessment by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security concluded that domestic violent extremists are an acute threat and highlighted the probability that the C-19 pandemic-related stressors, long-standing ideological grievances related to immigration, and narratives surrounding electoral fraud will continue to serve as justification for violent actions.
I speak on that too because Esau is using the same playbook, man. All right, to make a boogeyman, all right, to employ division of the people because they mentioned the Demic, right? What was the boogeyman during the Demic? It was the anti-what? All right, so for those that were speaking against the jab, that was pretty much calling out the conspiracy the government was doing, they became public enemy number one. So Esau has always used the division of the people. All right, they'll create a villain. All right, have one side be for them, one side be against them. And that's how that division brings forth fear and anarchy.
Yeah. This is why they just got to go ahead and shut everything down. Anybody that's speaking the truth, that's revealing the plans of the wicked, they're just like we said, every time they bring forth a psyop, hey, right away somebody got a video debunking it, man. It's a video off the rip. Somebody like, look, zoom in here, you can see, all right, this is some bullshit. All right, these are crisis actors. Right, these are agent provocateurs. This never really happened. You can tell, it's always getting exposed. So now they just got to come after everybody that's against the agenda, if you will, man. Hey, he ain't got time left, man. The joy of the hypocrite is just before a moment. The scriptures say, man. You got something out?
Come real quick. 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to the pulling down of strongholds.
Yeah.
And we go into these strongholds and we tear them down, right, by bringing them to the subjection of Hamashiach Yahushai, who is the way of truth, right? He is the way of life, which is everything that this society stands against. So as we see, Esau's society is really being teared down at the very fabric of the ideals, the foundation of the doctrine and philosophies that has allowed this devil to go throughout the earth lying and deceiving the nations.
Yeah.
If I can add to you, this is from ChatGPT. This is from Eddie Ashwam's video. It said, how do the rich elite benefit from division among the common people? It says the rich and elite often benefit from division among the common people because this unity makes it easier to maintain power, wealth, and control. Here are some of the main ways. It says distraction from the real power structure.
Yep.
When people are busy fighting against each other over race, religion, politics, or class, they spend less energy scrutinizing how wealth and influence concentrated in the hands of a small elite. Division keeps attention on systematic inequality and corruption, divide and rule strategy. It says this is one of the oldest political strategies. Keep groups suspicious or hostile towards each other so they cannot unite against the rulers.
And can I add something real quick? In the midst of everything that priest is reading, what's going on? Palantir is still being established. Gideon, all right, they're pressing forward to the chip, all right.
The thing that you said with the thought police thing.
Yeah, the thought police, right? So they're bringing all these oppressive measures into play while people are fighting that, right? Keep going.
It says this is one of the oldest political strategies. Keep groups suspicious or hostile towards each other so they cannot unite against their rulers by amplifying cultural, social, or political divides. Elites prevent mass solidarity that can challenge their dominance. Economic exploitation. This united workers are easier to underpay, overwork, and replace. If people see each other as competitors or enemies, they are less likely to unionize, strike, or demand fair wages together. Division allows the workers to keep labor costs while their own profits remain labor costs low while their own profits remain high. And it goes on: political control, justification of surveillance and security states, consumerism, and market operations.
Yep. So hey man, the extreme polarization that's going on is the end of Babylon, man. All right, I'm going to add one more point before we grab more scriptures. Read that for me, man. Because that's the main point, man. It's all about, you got to understand, this CK situation was a big deal for these elites to pass these laws, to implement the control that they're doing right now, right? Read on.
I know from experience. He said that other day. He's the Edomite MLK. Because just as MLK was for so-called black people, look how they're galvanizing the Edomites to rally up against Jacob. All right, how they're trying to bring forth all these different talking points off of this man's murder.
That's it, man.
On ChatGPT in regards to how CK became a scapegoat, right? It says how his death became a scapegoat for free speech restrictions.
Yep.
The scapegoat framing refers to how Kirk's killing has been invoked to justify a rapid escalation in speech policing.
Yeah, there you go. Speech policing. That's what it's about. This is why people are getting fired. You read on. People are getting fired for what they said on their social media posts, right? Whether you agree, whether you don't agree, indifferent, all right? If you have something to say about it, they're using that to justify to get rid of you, man. All right, keep going.
Often under the pretext of preventing hate or incitement that could lead to more violence. Critics argue this selectively targets dissenters while eroding First Amendment protections, turning a tragedy into a tool for conservative enforcement of free speech codes. Key ways this has imploded include mass firings over social media posts. In the days following the shooting, numerous individuals, teachers, students, and public employees were fired or disciplined for online comments perceived as insensitive or celebratory about Kirk's death. For instance, educators in Florida.
And you know what's heavy too, I've been seeing online, it's been people that's been giving testimonies about them being fired for what they said about CK. And then when you go on the comment board, there's nothing but Edomites, right? Talking shit, that's what you get. You should have never said nothing, right? They flooding the comment boards, man. Showing you how hurt these fucking Edomites are, man. Right? They're loving the fact that people are getting dismissed, right? Keep it going out.
Some Jake got expelled from school for celebrating and stuff like that.
See? It's the time we in.
It says,
while you're getting that broken up, real quick, just to land back, that's why the Spirit is harping on brothers and sisters to be circumspect, right? To speak with that seasoned speech, because these devils are coming after Jake.
Yeah.
They're utilizing, like brothers are saying, they're utilizing these means to come after you, right? Which is why the Holy Spirit is giving us that head, that eyesight, so that we can see this coming from afar.
Be salty.
Be salty.
All right, let's add to you real quick. Colossians 4:6. Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how ye ought to answer every man. You know, so like the brother is saying, man, like brothers gotta, you know, be, like you said, be salty, man. Be wise with your words, man. It's really, when it comes to social media, it's not even our place to even speak on that shit, man.
Yeah.
When we speak on these subjects, we speak on it through the video, man. Other than that, we don't have no business to talk about this stuff like that.
Don't jeopardize your job over some stupid shit. It's the reason why the Lord said to be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. All right? Because, hey, we're in the midst of wolves. All right? Esau is itching. He's looking for an opportunity to to fire you, to bring some type of turmoil, you know? So you gotta play the long game, so to speak. You know?
They got this thing about being right all the time.
Right.
You know, it's like this is not the time to try to prove people wrong about something, man. Let them have it. You know, they're gonna destroy themselves over this whole situation, man.
That's it.
So we just go, play the background.
Esau don't like being challenged, man.
That's
It's like
it.
when you read the 48 laws of power, the first law, don't outshine the master. Just let the nigga think he good, man.
Right.
You know, plain speak.
That's it, man. That's it. Hey, arguing with these niggas leads to nothing. You know, going back and forth, trying to justify, well, we heard what his talking points, we don't agree. Hey, you don't gotta do none of that. Just let it be. You know? Go ahead, bro. That's it, man.
It said, for instance, educators in Florida and other states face backlash for posts criticizing Kirk's politics, with school boards citing the need to honor his memory and curb divisive rhetoric. Legal experts note that while private employers can fire for speech, the wave of public sector actions raises First Amendment concerns, especially when tied to political views. This has been described as a free speech crackdown, where an emotional weight of Kirk's assassination is used to normalize punishing protected expression.
There you go. No, you can't freely speak as you thought. Okay? Now, if you got something to say against government policy, against CK, whatever it is, now to justify the command. All right, so we're in a time, like it says, Galatians 4:16. Give me that real quick. You know? Because, hey, we're in a time, this is persecution season, man. Yep. Understand that the time and season that you live in, it's not a game out here, man. You got it, brother.
So Galatians chapter 4 and verse 16. I am therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth.
Yeah, we're gonna be public enemy number one because we speak the truth. Give me that one in Isaiah 29 and Isaiah 59 as well. All right. About basically becoming an enemy.
59,
of the truth. You got it?
I got Isaiah 29.
Yeah, give me that one.
This is Isaiah chapter 29. Where do you want me to?
I believe it's Isaiah 29 and like I want to say 12, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Isaiah 29. I'm sorry. What was it? Isaiah 59.
This is Isaiah 59. Isaiah 59:15.
Yeah, give me that real quick.
It's Isaiah 59 and verse 14. And judgment is turned away backward, and justice standeth afar off. For truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter.
Yeah, it says the truth is falling in the street, and it's the time where telling the truth can get you killed, get you locked up, thrown in jail. Okay, this is how real this shit is getting. Okay, any more out?
Yea, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey.
That's it right there. And he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. So the fact that we're speaking about us, all right? The fact that you believe and you profess in the name of Yahweh Shai, that you acknowledge of being an Israelite, hey, you the top threat out here, man. Because all this stuff that's going on right now is getting ready to translate the Israelites.
Yeah.
Right? They needed a scapegoat. Right? They needed justification to eventually come after us. See that? We getting ready to be hated by the world.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You got it, brother.
This is Psalm chapter 57 NLT. They are always twisting what I say.
Yup.
They spend their days plotting to harm me. They come together to spy on me, watching my every step, eager to kill me.
Man, there you go. You got it, brother.
Yeah, it's like the brother is saying, man, hey, these devils are looking for a reason to come after them. All right, so, hey, these devils are all online trying to figure out a way to come after, the Hebrew Israelites. But Jake as a whole is targeted, man.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so as we're seeing, as this country breaks down more and more, Jake is coming to everything that's wrong.
Everything.
So these devils are looking to justify them bringing that sword against Jake. So the CK situation,
Yep.
all right, the situation with the chick on the street, and all these other things, man, they're going to be the catalyst
Yep.
for these Edomites to act on that hatred, man. All right, verse 7.
Hey, because this is something they've been wanting to do.
Exactly.
We've been talking about these things for years, but now they have the opportunity to go ahead and execute the plan.
Because think about that can't be, as we're saying is, the rhetoric they're pushing with the pseudoscience of how so-called blacks are the most violent people on the earth,
Right,
and
right.
all this and that. You don't think they're going to twist the things that Hebrew Israelites are saying about how the Lord is going to allow us to, put our hands on these devils in the time being?
Yeah.
They're going to use that to say, this is why these black people are being charged up by the Hebrew Israelites. Yeah, they're a hate group, so they're going to use these talk points to aid in that pseudoscience, these trumped up facts, quote unquote, to make it seem like this is why this guy can move out the way, man.
Yeah.
The so-called white man is under threat from these colored families.
Yeah, but it's all a form of deflection, as we talked about.
Exactly.
They talk about hate, but what about the hate that you brought?
Yeah.
All right, the rape, robbery, and murder of the tribes. All right, the murdering of children.
Right.
Okay, that's going on, man. It's still slavery going on today. Right?
The hypocrisy of Christianity, right?
Right.
Because Christianity tells you to turn the other cheek and forgive your neighbor, right?
Right.
So where is that sentiment at with CK?
Right.
Well, so, hey, aren't you supposed to forgive the shooter? So why is it that you're mad at black people for something your own kind did to another person of your own kind?
Right.
You see the hypocrisy, man?
These are all over the place.
No, one more verse,
Yep.
verse 7. Don't let them get away with their wickedness. In your anger, O Lord, bring them down.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what we're praying for.
Yeah, so the Lord is about to we're in the midst of the time of the Lord bringing Babylon down. All right, all the confusion, the Edomites at each other's throats. All right, they can't agree on anything. Okay, the right versus the left. Okay, the pro-American Edomite has a great disdain for the small hats, Egyptian versus Egyptian. Okay, it's inevitable, man. We just waiting for it all to eventually spill over. You have some up? Yeah, finish it out for me.
It's point 2. White House and Republican push for rhetoric controls. The Trump administration has explicitly linked K's death to broader threats from left-wing extremism, using it to advocate for new guidelines on online speech. The White House has targeted groups like progressive activists and media outlets, threatening investigations into rhetoric that incites violence.
Yeah, see, we're going to be tied into all of that. Read that part again.
It says, the White House has targeted groups like progressive activists and media outlets,
Yep.
threatening investigations into rhetoric that incites violence.
Yeah, so like the priest was saying, they could twist our words and say, look, what they're preaching is inciting violence. What they're preaching is forwarding hate. We got to do something about it.
And this is the same thing that happened in Rome with Nero when he burnt down that temple of Saturn, I believe, and he blamed it on the worship of their Yahweh Shai. That's what gave them justification to run Israel out of Rome.
Because hey, we know, and we like Trump when he got in office. Anybody that's pushing anti, you know what, should be killed basically, man. Should be the death penalty set, right?
Against Israel, then you deserve to die.
And look at the bills that they passed. The bill that I went through the other night, all right, where now people that's in government, in the Pentagon or whatnot, they can't boycott of Israel. These contractors, they can't speak out against what's going on. They can't criticize. You see that?
You're a so-called immigrant. They said that if they see that you're making critical posts, against Israel or anything anti-government, they can restrict your passport.
There you go. Lock you in this. That's the social credit scores we talked about. Okay, you're going to be categorized on your viewpoints on social media, the things that you say, the videos that you watch and subscribe to. They got a whole database on everybody, right? Who's a threat? Who's not a threat? Who's with the system? Who's not for it? Right? Go ahead, bro.
May I get a quick precept? This is the book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 37. For I say unto you that this that is written must yet be accomplished in me, and he was reckoned among the transgressors. For the things concerning me have an end. And the scriptures tell us that the servant is not greater than the master.
Right.
So for Yahushua to have been numbered against the transgressors, the criminals, that's going to be the fate of his servants, right? Because we're standing in opposition of this wicked kingdom that's speaking against the ways of the Lord.
Yep.
As was then is now.
I got something real quick. I found it. Isaiah 29. This is the other one. Isaiah 29 and 21. All right. I started 20. Isaiah 29 and 20. It says, "For the terrible one is brought to naught." It's the Edomite, Esau. "And the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off." Verse 21. "That make a man an offender for a word." All right, so they're going to demonize any and everyone that's speaking truth, man. That's speaking against the status quo, if you will, right? That make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproves in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing or not. So yeah, hey, this devil's laying all types of snares and traps, man. This is what we're talking about. The social credit scores, you can get fired. They can find a way to tie you to being a hate group. You know, a radical extremist, that's another word. Radical extremism, okay? That's another buzzword that they're going to use to try to categorize people that's speaking against what they don't, that's coming against the things that they don't want to be spoken against, okay? So, hey, these are the times, right? Finish it out, huh?
It reads, "The White House has targeted groups of progressive activists and media outlets threatening investigations into rhetoric that incites violence. FBI Director Kash Patel..."
Hey, I believe they passed something. I got to double check. If you can check it for me. But it's like a bill they passed for people that's questioning the Epstein files, right? And all that happened during the time of the so-called assassination of CK. So these devils are hurt, man.
Chill. If I may add right quick, I just got this news alert that said Jimmy Kimmel Live pulled off air indefinitely as over CK remarks.
See?
Late night Jimmy Kimmel pulled off air indefinitely over these remarks concerning that individual. So if you're not speaking in order of what the image of this beast is pushing out, you're gonna be marked out. This is the starting of how they're going to pretty much bring those into submission to that image, to bow.
That's it. You don't bow, you out of there.
You out of there.
Like how they did Kanye.
Yeah.
When he started speaking out against the small hats, he went from being a billionaire to a thousandaire.
Bro, they took that nigga whole fucking bank account. I didn't even know that shit was possible. Took the nigga whole shit.
Yeah. And Meek Mill said that. He said if you start speaking against the grain, he said it just frees your bank account.
Yep.
So here we go.
This is it.
Oh, yeah. Vietnam. It said Vietnam closes 86 million bank accounts due to non-compliant digital ID citizens.
There you go. Hey, welcome to the beast. Welcome to the beast system. Hey, if you don't comply, you're gonna die. And basically, that's what it is.
Right.
Right?
Continuing on. FBI Director Kash Patel, during Capitol Hill testimony, condemned political violence, but also signaled support for monitoring harmful speech, framing it as a direct response to K's killing. Republicans in Congress have proposed bills to expand hate speech definitions,
There you go.
arguing that unchecked criticism of figures like K contributed to the assassination, despite no evidence linking the suspect's motives to specific online discourse.
There you go.
But that's why they had the narrative was so cloudy for so long, man. First they thought it was the old Edomite, then they thought it was some trans activist, right? So now they see it's a so-called right-wing extremist. So
So-called state extremist.
right.
Yeah. Madness.
But the point being that they get everybody lumped into these categories,
Shit,
man.
man. They use it.
Every Yashimon was saying it's like they're toying with the people because they know that what they said they think that they found the shooter. Bro. It's like everybody's in suspense to figure out who it was. And y'all made the point Saturday about how they was praying that it wasn't somebody of their own.
Yeah. They was hoping because hey, imagine if it was a nigga that shot CK.
Oh,
It would have been all.
That was Esau. That was his initial inclination because following shortly after that, you had several HBCUs across the U.S. that had that got pretty much put on lockdown because of potential threats.
It was a Jake that got hung at I forgot one of them.
Delta State.
Yeah.
And then there was another one
At the same university?
Well, it's doing the same thing.
There was another Edomite that planned to go and shoot up. I think it was a HBCU in Louisiana.
Hey, these fucking Edomites are they about to lose it, man.
But it shows you this is the same thing. They just need a reason to do it. Like what you saw happen in Rosewood.
Yep.
You know, Rosewood, that whole event in Florida happened because the Edomite woman lied and said she got raped by Jake. And that gave the Edomites a reason to go and just murder all them different people.
Esau don't give a fuck about doing an inquisition. He don't look into the matter. He hear it, he on go.
Yeah.
He itching for the reason to do it.
Yeah.
That's been his track record, like you said. The same incident that happened with Emmett Till. That woman lied. They lynched that boy, killed him, beat the shit out of him. And to this day, it's a stance of she did it.
Yeah, they need another situation to happen like what happened here in Charlotte. The Edomites is waiting for some shit like that, right? Because they're ready to start coming out to Jake,
Yep.
right?
You got Jake trying to pacify with that whack ass video of the brother singing.
He got backlash up there
Yeah,
shit
he
too.
did. He was mad. He made Edomite relive that shit.
Yeah. That's it.
Add something real quick, if I may.
He probably thought he was gonna capitalize. You know what I'm saying? He's going to favor.
It's fine. Bros can go ahead. It's out of his house.
It reads, debates on First Amendment limits. Organizations like the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression have warned that you can't fire your way to free speech.
Right.
Highlighting how post-assassination punishments erode protections rather than enhance them.
That's it.
Online reactions include memes or blunt opinions about K's controversial stances. E.g. on election denialism or campus conservatism have led to doxing and job losses, testing the boundaries of what constitutes protected speech versus callous commentary.
How far are the people gonna let them go with it?
There you go. There you go.
Esau,
Hey, this is a great time of testing right here.
they testing the limits. How far can we push this?
Yes.
Because what we see is these people are docile. They're beat the fuck down. They're in 101 psyops. Their heads are in a loop.
Yeah.
They don't know they don't know whether they're coming or going.
It's a powder keg, man. That shit's ready to explode. This is why it's just. I saw from Canada. He had a video titled "All it takes is one event."
That's it.
Esau is just needing that one little thing, and it's gonna pop everything off.
That's it, man.
Bro,
Wait a moment.
you got all this shit that's going on that's unraveling the very fabric of society. And what was at the forefront of niggas' minds for the past week and a half is Mr. Thugger, YSL, whoop-de-doo.
Right. All over social
This
media.
nigga
But
talking shit.
But meanwhile, what we got going on is issues that's about to hit the home front of you tribes, man.
Yeah, bro. That's why, it don't take much for niggas to get distracted. And like you said, you got that shit going on with Young Thug.
Yep.
You just had the shit happen with Cameron, with goddamn Adrian Broner,
Yep.
high ass, man. So it's always something to galvanize a nigga mind to stay away from the main thing, man. So amongst the main Jake complaining about getting their job messed up because they said something about CK. The majority of these niggas don't care. They're worried about the next rap album that's about to come out. NBA about to start. NFL going on right now. Chiefs down 0-2.
Yep.
You know?
Right.
Come on, man.
You ain't more out. And the CIA is working overtime right now.
Sure.
They get so confused right now, so distracted. They don't realize their civil liberty is about to get
Exactly, man.
Right. 2015 LeBron.
There you go.
It says you can't fire your way to free speech, highlighting how post assassination punishments erode protections rather than enhance them. Reactions include memes or blunt opinions about K's controversial stances.
Yep.
They have led to
And that shit has America divided, bro. Right? These Edomites are divided all over that shit.
Yep.
To show you the hypocrisy in that, because Esau was mad about Jake celebrating this nigga getting off. But then when you listen to what the shit that nigga was saying, bro, it was completely anti-Jake.
Yep.
Talking shit with these fake ass facts he was bringing and all that.
Yep.
So it's like, yo, so Jake might have a right to express their opinion like he was doing.
Exactly.
You know, so him, Myron, and all the other guys go these college campuses and talk shit. You know, but you will have the freedom of speech to be able to defend yourself. It shows you the Constitution's being attacked, man.
Nah, it's being totally unraveled. Like when we were speaking about at the time when the election was going on, what did they secure? They secured the House, they secured the Senate, and they secured the seat of the presidency. These niggas have every avenue on lock to where they're unfuckwittable. They don't have anybody to test them. They just able to push the button and say go.
So it's a way of these Edomites letting Jake know that they're on top.
Exactly.
You don't have a voice. Your opinion doesn't matter. Hey, just like back years ago when you had Jake that was taking the knee for the national anthem at the football games, and all Edomite America was mad as hell, and they was trying to deflect from the fact of why our people was taking the kneel on the flag, man, for the police brutality, man. But Esau was trying to act like they didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Right.
They went protesting police brutality to now you're anti-American.
Exactly.
But see, that's how Esau was able to spin the narrative. Because like you said, they've been in control.
Yep.
The Trump was in office that first time when he did that.
Yep.
So they're able to, if you're anti-Trump, anti-government, anti-America, what they're doing, then they're able to spin that in their favor. And Jake is at the will of all that.
That's why this shit about to clash anymore.
It says they have led to doxing and job losses, testing the boundaries of what constitutes protected speech versus callous commentary. First Amendment scholars empathize that even offensive speech about public figures is safeguarded.
I'm about to read it again. Another point. I don't know if it's true or not. The elder had posted in the chat, but who was the guy that shot the healthcare CEO? Luigi Mangione. I believe they let him off.
They dropping certain charges.
They're dropping certain charges. So what is going on? They're just stirring the pot, man. Stirring that pot up because he was to the left, right? He was regarded as a hero, right, for what they were doing to these people in the hospital and all of that, you know. So there you go, man. It's just adding fuel to the fire, you know. All this shit is set up, man. Go ahead, bro.
It says First Amendment scholars empathize that even offensive speech about public figures is safeguarded, but the tragedy has created a chilling effect, with conservatives arguing it is necessary to protect democracy in the wake of the killing. In essence, while K himself was a vocal champion of unrestricted speech, his death has been co-opted as a symbolic justification for selective censorship.
There you go. He can talk all that shit, but when Jake says something, oh, you can't say shit. Who are you, right? Right?
Psalm chapter 94, verse 20. Shall throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law?
Yep, which frameth mischief by law. These bills, these legislations that they're passing, it's all oppression, man. It's all wicked. Go ahead.
They gather themselves together against the souls of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood.
Yeah, so that's really what it's all about. As we said, it's all going to translate unto us. All right? They just needed Esau he has to put himself in that position to be the scapegoat, man.
Yeah.
You know?
He's the victim and the
villain.
The villain. Because as he's doing all this, who is this really coming against? He's coming against the tribes, man.
That's it.
Right.
Esau Edom is showing the fight is amongst themselves, but who's losing that ball there? It's Jake, man.
Right. Because what it is that Esau, he's as the scriptures speak about that disquieting in his belly, right? He's at that point where he's just like he's guilty, he's insecure, but he's trying to paint it in a way to where it's like, nah, I'm still on top.
Yeah.
But he's really not.
Yeah.
That's why we see warp speed is in high gear, trying to pretty much dismantle the Constitution at a rapid pace, right? Because he's uncertain about his future. He knows what his future is, but the uncertainty about it is still queasy. It's got him queasy.
This is Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Because as they're having this infighting, they're fighting amongst themselves, but they have the same end goal, which is to come against Jacob. So even though they don't agree, outwardly, their inward goal is to put Jake back in the bottom. Like you always made mention, Trump's MO since he's been in office the first time is to reestablish that Edomite supremacy over Jake to show we're still in power and he niggas are all slaves. And so it's coming back as they're taking away our civil liberties, our freedom of speech, all right, to the point where you're not even going to be able to gather yourself, man. It's straight up oppression on all levels against Jake.
Yep.
And this whole free speech attack, it's a roundabout way, right, to attack Jake, man, because they can't do it in a direct fashion right now.
Yeah.
Because they know that people will be up in arms. They still got protests going on in LA over ICE and things of that nature. They're trying to quell all the unrest amongst the tribes right now. So if they made a direct move to attack you, then they know things will start to escalate out of their control.
Yeah, quick precept. Job chapter 20, verse 19. Because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away a house which he builded not. So Esau has a conscience. He know good and damn well the actions that his foreparents did and that they do on a covert level and at times overtly. He gonna have to atone for that. It ain't no way you finna get off scot-free. Right? Verse 20, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. So at the end of the day, Esau knows the prophecies, right? Pursuant to James 2 and 19. So when he hears these things, when he hears the prophets bringing out his judgment, his whole psyche is not to make amends or try to better himself, right? But no, his whole idea is to try and put out a counter argument in which he can try to vilify the prophets, which he could vilify the tribes, right? And that comes by means of psyops. That comes by means of disorder. That comes by means of chaotic measures to vilify and pretty much put you as target number one.
Yep. It's part of his propaganda.
Yes.
As we read the definition of racial scapegoat. All right, this has always been a thing here in America, man, where they use means to blame our people for the problems that's going on, man. Right? Any more?
It reads, this is fueled partisan divides, with some viewing it as rightful accountability for toxic language, and others as hypocritical overreach by those who previously decreed cancel culture.
Yep.
The situation remains fluid, with ongoing legal challenges to the firings and calls for federal intervention.
That's it. Let me grab this real quick.
Like I said, they're calling for that hypocrisy because the same thing the left was doing a few years ago is what the right is doing now in regards to CK, man.
And they going overboard. Niggas, they going federal.
Yeah, like we read in the thing here. They're gonna push to see how far they can test these people, man. How far they can go with this thing. Right? This is Micah 2 and 1. And it reads, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity. All right, this whole thing with CK being a scapegoat to shut down freedom of speech, this is another way of these devils devising iniquity.
Yes.
And work evil upon their beds when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Right? Verse 2. They cover fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So how did Esau get the world, man? all right, through wars, through murder, okay, robbery, death, okay. It says, and they cover fields and take them by violence, in houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage, man. So here it is, they talk about all of this hateful shit. But what about what you done to the Lord's people, man? Are you going to acknowledge that? Right? You got people over there in Israel claiming to be the Israelites, man. And see, now that the world is waking up, they're calling them out, man.
Yep.
People know that these people descend from fucking Khazaria, man. All right, a lot of these people that's established in that land go back to fucking Poland, Germany, Russia, right? It says, verse 3, therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which you should not remove your necks, for which you should not remove your necks, neither shall you go heartily, for this time is evil. So again, as all this shit is going on, Esau is not going to wiggle his way out of the judgment, man. He can try to justify and try to change the narrative all he wants to, man. His ass is still going down. He's still being exposed.
Yeah, he having an opposition acting throughout this whole
That's
time.
it.
It's gonna be like that till he puts that mandate out there.
That's it.
If I can grab this real quick, because like you said, people are catching on to what the deal is, and they're called out.
Yep, last one. Micah 2:4. In that day shall one take up a parable against you and lament with the doleful lamentation. And that's what's going on. There's a doleful lamentation going out across the planet against the Edomites, man. The biblical Edomites. The JOO. All right, there's a great crying out in the earth against these people. It says, and lament with the doleful lamentation, and say we be utterly spoiled. He have changed the portion of my people. How have he removed it from me? Turn it away, he has divided up fields. So there's a as I said, my sword, a woeful sorrow that's going out. You know? You got it, bro.
I want to that about that what you read. He said these Edomites are calling out, all right, all this shit that's being done by the elites. So this is a comment. It says the so-called left-right dim rep divide in this country obscures the class divide. It obscures the fact that both parties represent the interests of bankers, CEOs, and large commercial landlords.
Absolutely.
That's why while we see our standards of living declining and the endless wars, we seem powerless to stop them. Both parties stand in the way of working-class unity.
That's it.
So even the average Edomite is now beginning to see that this whole thing is a farce.
That's why the video I did last night, the Edomite, he was mad as hell. He said the politicians was traitors, man. You know, here it is, they're giving the IDF the fucking the reparations, and here it is, the American people are struggling, man. Right? But like I said, these right wingers now, the pro-American Edomites, now they come to the conclusion that look, their own government sold them out. It was never about America, man. See, that's why they was so hyped when Trump got in office, man. The second term, the Edomites knew. The second term when Trump got in office, they knew this is it right here. This is where we get America back. This is where America's going to be restored to greatness, make America white again. This is it right here. Now look at the ass.
If I could land back on that too, Zaquan, this administration, they attached that divinity to Trump too.
They did. They made him like Jesus or something, right?
Yeah.
The second coming.
There you
Yeah.
go.
The fact they call this man the Great White Hope lets you
Come
know
on, man.
where he stood in the mind of the devil.
Oh yeah.
They said the government shall rest on his shoulders.
Yeah. Wow, word,
They put
man.
him in the same seat as your house.
That shit crazy, man. Now look at these Edomites, confused, angry, they crying, they fighting against each other. They feel betrayed, right? They thought the gas prices was going to drop. They thought that the hyperinflation was going to drop. Hey, this is the most expensive time in America that it's ever been. People can't even buy a fucking house. If you want to buy a home, forget about it. That's not happening.
bro.
Forget about it.
Especially with them niggas just dropped the interest rates.
Come on, man.
So that money print about to get cut on, and when they turn that spigot on, and more money comes into circulation, the existing dollar is going to be devalued. So the cost of living is going to go up. It's going to exacerbate the cost of living prices.
Yeah, and then they had things with all them countries that said they wasn't going to ship anymore. Did that come into effect?
that
With
was
the tariffs?
Yeah.
Yup.
But the tariffs are basically taxes on the people, man.
Yup.
You see what I'm saying? So people are getting their asses kicked right now, man.
It's a double whammy. You got the tariffs and the motherfucking interest rate.
There you go.
It's a knockout punch.
You want to save money? Forget about it.
Bro. Hell no.
You barely your daily bread, man.
That's why we
Literally
see.
working to pay bills.
Get Revelation 6.
I was watching this economist, and they were pretty much talking about how what this government Esau is doing, he's pretty much allowing this system to fool itself into thinking that this new fashion of buy now, pay later, the BNPL, that's the way. Oh, it's not that hard. I could finance my purchases. It's not that bad. But they were like, the fact that we have gotten so far from just making a cash payment, you have to make purchases on groceries in installments.
Yeah.
You have to make purchases for little bare necessities in installments. That's terrible.
Just making installments on tacos and burritos and shit,
And
bro.
then on top of that, they're not realizing that in the end you're paying more.
Yes.
The interest that's being put on, because you can do this shit now to where like you can put off that payment for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So something that may have cost like fucking $80, you done put that shit where you're only paying $14 a month for 6 months. So that interest is adding up.
And then most of these people, they're probably getting hit with an APR between 22 to 29%. Just getting cooked. You see?
Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 6 and verse 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny.
Yep.
And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
Right, so just like during the time of the Roman Empire, man, they devalued the denarius, man. So it's the same thing now. By them devaluing the money, all right, it resulted in what? Hyperinflation. So a day's wages, it doesn't cover your day of living now, man.
Yep.
This is why everybody, hey, you know how many thousands of videos, hundreds of videos that I've seen over the past months of people, Jake, Esau, whatever, crying, bro. Men and women crying on the internet on how the fuck they supposed to make it in this life.
Yeah.
Right? Working 3 jobs with a couple of kids on the side, man. Still they got enough to make ends meet, man.
People they're living in their car, living in stores.
Yeah. U-Haul trucks. See? So that day's wages no longer suffice. You can't make it off your work check, man. After them 2 weeks come, you might knock out all your bills
Shit.
and your utilities and get a little bit of groceries and you back at zero, nigga. Right?
You need a team at this point.
It ain't no
Yes.
saving no money, man. You know, you try to save money for a rainy day, that ain't gonna happen, man.
That's why, these women are about to lose out the most, man. Because niggas ain't got money to trick out on y'all. They trying to survive. So this is why, as the spirit has been harping lately, man, Isaiah 4:1 is about to hit very soon. And the spirit also been dealing with that. A lot of you women gonna get dumped, man.
Yeah.
If y'all spirits ain't right.
Yeah. But a lot of these bitches is broke. That's why they all on the internet selling box.
That's what we're seeing. This dating literally is being turned into prostitution.
That's all it is.
All these women are doing is using men to fund their lifestyle to keep shit going like how they've been doing. You can't do that no more, man.
Yeah.
As this place has gotten so fucking high now, bro, these women don't want to do shit. They want to go and still live that soft life, but they're getting these dumb niggas that's helping them finance that shit. That's why you see the majority of videos, women crying because men don't want to deal no more.
They ain't playing them games no more, man.
You ain't going to the club.
Nope, you ain't going out to eat.
Nothing. Niggas don't even pay for box no more, man.
Yeah, so basically that penny, as we read, that penny is a day's wages for work. Okay? That's why people got 3 jobs, 2 side hustles, and still barely floating above water, man. See, that's how real this shit is. But this is America is the extension of Rome all over again, man. That's right. Yep. It's going out the same exact way. And due to hyperinflation, as I was reading about hyperinflation, the taxes and all of that shit, it all led to civil unrest.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's why they had the gladiator games Coliseum. They wanted to distract the people from the issues going on in Rome at the time.
That's it.
He said the greater circuit can only distract them.
Yep.
Shit. If I may add too, a lot of Jake is trying to bank on the bread and circus to make their day's wages.
Yeah.
With sports betting.
Oh, the parlays.
The parlays,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
now you got Jake that's like reading into the fine lines of how places like FanDuel and Prize Picks, Underdog, they're pretty much fine tuning the sports betting in a way to where it's like you're not really going to you're not gonna get that much bread. Like
Right.
it's so finely tweaked now to where it's like, bro, what the fuck? Jake, they got like little systems to where it's like, oh, if you got like a parlay, but like something were to happen with your parlay, they won't give you the full amount of money. They'll just give you like no, not even partial. They just put the money inside of like your account within the sports betting app, so you're not getting the money back.
Hey, the system is great.
And then on top of that, the players, they're not meeting their parlays, man. Hey, these people ready to crash out on them, man.
Yeah.
Hey, the amount of videos I've seen of these different players talking about how they've been getting threatened because they fucked their parlays up. So it's going to be a point to where this shit is about to...
Hey, people struggling, bro. You know? But that's the time we in. See, that anything else I can add in there?
I just want to add a point too.
Yeah, you got it.
That's why you see people, they're leaning more and more into borrowing this money, man. Right, people are taking on more and more debt than ever.
Yep.
And now there's a thing going around TikTok where people are trying to push you into claiming bankruptcy, man.
Yep.
Right? To try to avoid whatever debts that you've built up along the years, man.
I was talking to my pops about that shit. And my pops was like saying like basically like how it used to be when you would file for bankruptcy, you know, you get like a certain type of amount that you have to pay back over like a set amount of time. But he said the way how they got that shit now, it ain't like how it used to be.
Of course.
So they want they full fucking money that you owe. They gonna put that bitch in a loop in your credit history. You think that shit gonna fall off after 7 years? Nope. They gonna hand that bitch off to another creditor or a collections agency and just have your ass in debt purgatory.
There's no coming out. No coming out. What you got out?
This second Ezra chapter 15, and starting verse 14 in the Good News translation. The world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring the destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. There will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government.
We're seeing that now. The right versus the left. Like the right pretty much declaring war on the left, but that's going to end up spilling over to everybody.
Verse 18, or verse 17. There will no longer be free access to the cities. Because the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live.
They're going to shut down the cities, man. As you made the point about that bill that they're pushing to where you start speaking out against Israel and different policies Trump's going out, they're going to revoke the passport system. It's starting there, but it's going to trickle down to you're not even going to be able to leave your town, man.
That's martial law.
That's right.
That's why America's under a police state now. This is why they have all the troops deployed into those major cities right now. LA, Chicago, Memphis is next, right?
New Orleans,
DC.
They say that the blue state that's being that system. When we say that political divide, that's starting to take place. But like I said, that's the front to get them in there. Once they're in there, it's going to begin to be like how it was the Katrina, where you Jake's going to be the main one getting targeted.
right? It's gonna go from we trying to get the criminals to we're trying to mitigate the problems of people committing a little like misdemeanors, and then it's just gonna shift into high gear. Well, we find that we've had a lot of ways to fix these problems that are at the forefront in person. We need to come after the internet.
And that's why they said criminal. When Trump started using that word, he left it very vague, so they can change what they define a criminal is, and they can fit whatever criteria that they want to make it justifiable for them to come down on it.
Our talking points are going to be twisted in a way where they're going to say, look, what they're saying is they're coming against the system.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They're coming against the government, right? Keep going out.
If I may add too, that's why you see Amalek is getting their hands more and more involved in politics, all these discussions taking place, because now they're the ones who are putting the squeeze and forcing these different legislations to come to pass. Right? Because you see the ADL, you see APAC,
Yep.
you see all their influence throughout politics right now.
Exactly.
And they're the ones who are the front runners and calling for
Yes.
censorship.
Yeah, they're spearheading all of this shit right now. Go ahead.
Verse 18, because the struggle for power will bring the terror and total confusion wherever people live.
Hey, total confusion wherever people live. Is that not what's going on in America?
Yep.
Total confusion is consuming these people, man.
Right.
Right? People are mad, angry. They don't know what to believe. Right? They don't trust the government. All types of shit, man. Right? Censorship. All of that. Go ahead.
Driven by famine,